I believe all work is important. I've said it a million times. Somebody needs to work in the office building and somebody needs to build the office building. Somebody needs to travel down the highway to get to the hospital to go to work, and somebody needs to build the highway. All work, everything you can possibly imagine, right down to somebody who's sweeping and cleaning the office building after hours, is important. Everybody's work should be dignified. That doesn't mean that everybody that does work should do all work. Case in point, I think that we should spend a lot more time in this country recognizing that sex work is a legitimate source of income, right? If you're in the sex industry, then you should not be shamed for doing what you're doing. But just because you're in the sex industry and you might be successful in the sex industry doesn't mean that you should do other things that maybe you're not qualified for. So, for example, if you're blowing members of Congress for money, go make that paper, boo. I got no problem with that. But then that doesn't mean that you're qualified to be in Congress. You know what I mean? If you haven't figured it out by now, we're talking about Lauren Boebert, who has mistaken filmmaker Oliver Stone with right-wing Republican political strategist and activist Roger Stone.
Mr. Stone, you wrote a book accusing LBJ of being involved in the killing of President Kennedy. Did these most recent releases confirm or negate your initial charge? Being involved in the assassination of President Kennedy.
No, I didn't. In the film, if you look closely, there's no such statements. No, I didn't. If you look closely at the film, there's no. It accuses President Johnson.
Okay.
Of being part of a complicit in a cover-up of the case, but not in the assassination itself, which I don't know.
What do you think that he was complicit with? Yes, sir. I'll get to you.
The cover-up. Well, how about, for starters, appointing Alan Dulles, the head of the CIA, who was fired by Kennedy, to the commission itself, to the Warren Commission. And he goes to almost every meeting, and he's pretty much in charge of the Warren Commission from the beginning. Alan Dulles. That's part of the evidence that points to President Johnson's either incompetence or involvement.
Mr. Morley, I think you had something to add on that.
I think you're confusing Mr. Oliver Stone with Mr. Roger Stone.
I stated it, yeah. No, sorry.
It's Roger Stone who implicated LBJ in the assassination of the president. It's not my friend
Is that what
Oliver
all the whispers
Stone.
were there? I may have misinterpreted that, and I apologize for that. But there seems to be some alluding of like.
There is no may have. You did. You were questioning filmmaker Oliver Stone about a book Roger Stone wrote. Just stick with what you're good at. Just go back to blowing members of Congress to earn a living. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't need to sit up there and continuously pretend like you have any fucking idea what you're talking about.